Good morning, my Upstream Health family. How are you guys doing? And compliments of the season. I can't believe it's almost the end of 2022. Can you believe that? But we thank God that we are alive, strong, and we're still pushing and not giving up, even after all that we've been through, especially in the past 3 years of COVID. We thank God that we are all still standing and surviving. And for anyone going through difficult times, especially if you've lost a loved one, I have you in my prayers and praying that everything goes back to being beautiful again, happy times again. Okay, so welcome back. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking about sodium, or let's keep it simple, table salt. So in one of my videos I did mention that you can actually add sodium or table salt to your food even if you have high blood pressure. Yeah, I did mention that, and somebody wanted to know if that's healthy. That's absolutely healthy. You can add sodium or table salt to your food depending on the quantity. So the quantity is what matters. You see, we as a biological system, our body is made to require sodium. Like the chemical reactions going on in your body, your muscular function, your nerve, your neurological function, that's your nerves and your muscles. We need sodium to function. So sodium, so here we're actually talking about adding salt to your food. So if you are I know the American guideline recommends 2300 milligram of sodium daily if you don't have any blood pressure. But if you have high blood pressure and you're taking your high blood pressure medication, you can limit it to 1500 milligrams. So what's 2300 milligram is more like a teaspoon, right? And do we go about measuring the milligram of sodium? No, I haven't done that, but I'm always reading labels. So the very good way to do it is make sure you're reading labels, especially if you're eating outside. So that's the caveat there now. So if you buy a lot of food, if you eat outside a lot, believe me, you are going to be consuming more than 5,000 milligrams of sodium a day. So remember, your fruits, vegetables, they all have some trace amount of sodium. So if you're someone who make your meals at home, you can actually keep it to that limit of 2300 or 2500 milligram a day. So if you want to add sodium to your meal, make sure you're adding it when you're cooking, not when you already served out the food on the dining table to eat. No, you don't do that. Make sure you're adding it while cooking, maybe while seasoning your meat. That's when you can add your sodium. And I know we have two types. There are two types that I use. For me, I have the Himalayan Pink salt and I have the Celtic sea salt. So basically the Himalayan salt is a rock salt, so the one they get from rocks. And then the Celtic sea salt is from the sea. So those two that I use because I know they are healthier. The Celtic sea salt contains low sodium and the Himalayan contains just a little more sodium than the Celtic sea salt. So that's the two that I use. I use them when I season my food. And just think about it. If I am cooking, depending on the quantity, I season my meat with a lot of spices. I'm gonna do a spice haul with you guys, what I have. That's gonna be a very interesting video. So you spice your meat, your food or whatever with spices, and make sure you put salt. I do add salt. Sometimes I put like up to 2 teaspoons depending on the quantity. And when you cook the food, you don't consume the food the whole day. So think about, like we Africans, when we make soup, the soup we're gonna eat it like 3 or 4 times. So, and you don't consume it in one sitting. So that's another thing. Make sure you're cooking your home meals. If you're someone who is always eating out, eating like canned food, junk food, processed food, cured meat, then you are at the risk of consuming more than what you should get of sodium, and that can make your blood pressure go haywire. So if you want to get salt, a healthy salt that you can use. You can go for the Himalayan pink salt, or you can go for the Celtic sea salt. I know some people have we have the iodized sea salt, so that's basically the natural salt, and then the manufacturer can add some quantity of iodine in it, especially those who have iodine deficiency, or countries where you have a very high rate of like goiter, like thyroid issues. So it doesn't matter if you're getting iodized or not iodized, but go for Himalayan salt or the Celtic sea salt. And a lot of people go more for Himalayan salt because it has more trace minerals like the magnesium, calcium, potassium, and all that. But go for Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt if you want to include that in your meal. And it's okay if you don't want to add it, but make sure you're consuming other food that has sodium in it, because your body really needs sodium. You cannot do without sodium. If you have high blood pressure and you're like, oh, avoiding all sodium, that's very, very harmful. The most important thing is that you are keeping to that limit of 1500 milligrams sodium if you are on blood pressure control medications. If you don't have any blood pressure issues, you keep it to that limit of 2300 milligram of sodium. So make sure you're reading your labels, and if you don't know how to read your labels, you can go scroll down. I think I have video on how to read labels. So for this Celtic sea salt that I use here, a quarter teaspoon here actually has about 450 milligrams of sodium. And then for this Himalayan pink salt, I have a quarter teaspoon has about 420 milligrams. So you see the difference in sodium is not really much in the Himalayan and Celtic sea salt. So basically the trace mineral, it's more in the Himalayan than the Celtic, but the two are your go-to salt for cooking, for preserving. And again, I love using the Celtic sea salt also, like if you want to do some kind of cleansing, like to cleanse your system, I go with the Celtic sea salt with water and lemon and all that. So that's gonna be in another video. So I hope this video was quite educative, and if you have any questions, be free to text me that, okay? And you do have a beautiful week, and do enjoy your Christmas. Bye and stay blessed.